This video is about modifying a Warm M8000 winch to work with a Harbor Freight Badlands Apex wireless remote. It's a simple two-step process. Full disclosure, I've got very basic mechanicking skills. If I can do this, anybody can. One requirement for this modification is that the winch must have a contactor relay like this. Any winch with a 5-pin remote system should be able to work as long as you correctly identify the pin out wiring system. The Warm M8000 winch was working fine until the batteries died on the remote fob. When I replaced the batteries, it no longer could pair with the receiver. I called Warm Tech support. Their solution was to buy another set for $240. I looked around online and I found a Harbor Freight Badlands Apex kit that had both the similar wireless receiver with the 5-pin configuration, plus the controller could also be used wired. $40. So I was inspired to work on this by a YouTube video by Bleep and Jeep. You can look at the link below. He took this Apex and hardwired it from the winch into underneath his hood. I wanted to just be able to put this into that 5-pin socket on the winch and take it out and then store it in this carrying case that came with the Apex in the cab of my truck. You can find for around $20 to $25 a generic universal winch remote on Amazon, but this also has to be hardwired either into the control box or extended up underneath the hood. This version seems a little flimsy to me. I'm not sure how it would hold up under rugged off-roading conditions. There's also a newer model of the Harbor Freight wireless remote. It looks like this. It's $40 for the wireless only. I'm guessing it has the same pin-out wiring system, but you would need to verify that. So in order to make this work, two things need to happen. The first is the shape of the worn 5-pin socket is a D shape and the apex is a circle. And so I took a Dremel with a cutting wheel and carefully cut out a small section of that circle so that it would fit over that D shape very snugly. And then I did that on both the hardwired and the wireless. Be careful and make sure that you're cutting out the right section of that circle to match where that flat part of the D shape on the Warm is. The second thing that has to happen is to change one of the wires in the Warm 5-pin system. It's the black wire in position number 3. And in the Warm system, that goes down to a nut, a bolt on the body of the winch motor. And in the Harbor Freight version, that black wire needs to go to a power source. So I cut that black wire, ran a wire up to a power source. I also added a ground from the brown ground wire of the Warm system, position number 1, and ran it to the chassis. I put a quick disconnect on that Warm wire that went ground to the body in case I ever wanted to go back to that Warm wiring system, because that hardwired Warm cable still works. So it gives me a backup.